So if I asked you to close your eyes and picture the Amazon rainforest, most of you would come up with something simple, or at least understandable. Perhaps a cocoa tree, or an indigenous man with a blow-dart gun, or a winding river, or maybe even a monkey. Or better yet, some of you might picture a sexy and beautiful Jennifer Lopez swimming frantically away from a 30-foot man-eating reptile. Or you might picture the toucan that used to swim across your favorite box of cereal. But when I think of the Amazon rainforest, none of those things come to my mind. Instead, I picture myself hunched over, scared and terrified, like a regular gringo there, and perhaps with a sharp object in my hand, stabbing dog after dog after dog. So the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of the Amazon is the scent and smell of dog's blood. Maybe I should back up here and tell you a little bit about Amazonian dogs here. It's kind of like a walking bag of bones, or a set of ribs with like skin pulled tightly over it. Or a better picture of, you might want to picture those crazy ass, scary, frantic monkeys from Outbreak, and couple it with like the zombies in the Michael Jackson Thriller video with sort of the decrepit, sort of frantic looking eyes, and you would put them together and that would be an Amazonian dog. Much different than an American dog, but not much different than some Philly dogs. So, the first thing I did when I got off my canoe in the rainforest with my friend Ben is I made a mental note to stay away from those creepy looking dogs. And it was the second morning that my friend Ben woke me up, and as if he could sort of see my innermost fears, waking me up and telling me that he had an exciting adventure planned out for us, that we had to go catch a canoe in 15 minutes to sail further down the Amazon River. So I said okay, because I let him make all the decisions on our trip, because it was my first time out of the country. So we got in this boat, and there were about 10 other people in there, and the first thing I noticed is that there was just an exceptional amount of medical supplies. So I started getting all these wonderful feelings that, gosh, I'm going to be sweeping in and saving sick and motherless Ecuadorian children, and I'm going to go home and tell my friends and family about it. But then the guy up front started talking kind of really fast and in kind of a harsh, shrill voice, and at the time my Spanish was neither fast or fluent, and so I had my buddy Ben translate what he could. And so he translated as best he could, and all that he got out of it was 5 stops, 40 dogs, injections, rabies, dangerous, terrifying, severe, very severe. And so before I could respond to what he said, he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "It's great. We're gonna sweep in. We're gonna catch these dogs. We're gonna hold them down. We're gonna inject them with rabies shots, and we're gonna save their lives and probably the children that they would potentially bite." So a little while later, to no surprise, I was selected as the person who would be actually injecting the dogs. And so I did what any Philadelphian or what any American would have done. I got my game face on, got psyched up, got loosened up, said a prayer or two, and I had this 4-year-old boy who had been clinging to my leg ever since I got off the boat, and he was sort of my Rocky-esque trainer, but instead of singing Eye of the Tiger, he was yelling in his child's voice, "Apunero a perros," which means, "Stab the dogs, stab the dogs." And so I did. For the rest of the day, I stabbed as many dogs as I could with 100% success rate. It turns out that I didn't have the most difficult job of wrangling the dog around the neck, holding it down, and covering its mouth while it yelped. I just had to kind of sweep in, stab, pull out, and run away. And so for the next 4 or 5 hours or so, I saved 30 dogs from rabies and imminent death. And I was feeling exhilarated and very happy with myself. And I was laying in bed that night on this hard wooden floor when my buddy reached over and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "That was okay. I think we could find something more exciting. Caesar said if we get back tomorrow early in the day, he'd take us to show us all the different kind of bugs and things that you can eat in the Amazon." And I ignored him, because the sound of monkeys and birds and all the other creatures of the night had faded, and the happy voices of canines rung through the air. Thank you.